Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. EVO is still going strong this weekend, and we have some more fun news from EVO. Now, this isn't grand reveals, DLC characters, all that. This is from the Guilty Gear Strive team, and you might recall for the last while they were, well, asking for your input. Please fill out this questionnaire, put your input into this poll, that kind of stuff. And here on the Sony interview station, we have the answers to a lot of that stuff. So, not main stage at EVO, but Sony has their own stream dedicated to just interviewing a lot of people. And they interviewed the Guilty Gear team, and they have the results from quite a bit of the questionnaires and polls that we've put our input into. And the first big one here, which playable character do you like the most in Guilty Gear? And as you can see here, it's broken down by region, as it usually is. And just like quite some time ago when this was done last time, every region in the world, except Japan, the number one character is Biken. Now, if you are somehow confused why this is the case, well, as I always say for Biken, there's two big reasons why, and I'll let you figure that one out. Although, once again here, Japan, Biken is not number one. In fact, Biken is at number 4, so not even top 3, right? And I guess part of the allure of Biken, besides two big reasons why, is, well, she's a samurai, and in Japan, that's just that's part of your culture anyway, so you don't find it as cool and flashy. Just to put it out there, the developer themselves says Soul is number 1 in Japan because Japanese people tend to root for the protagonist. Now, besides that, the story is somewhat similar across the board, minus, a couple positional changes. People like Kai, people like Soul, people like Ramlethal. Ramlethal is everywhere here, right? And one thing I did notice is Potemkin managed to make top 10 everywhere except Japan, where he does not appear, and shame on Japan for that. So that is the popularity contest. And, well, spoiler, the popular character wins the popularity contest, right? But there is more than that. We also have what would you like to see in the future of Guilty Gear Strive? Which characters that are not currently in the game would you like to see appear in the future? So we have this chart. So again, split by region, who would you like to see most to be added to Guilty Gear Strive in the future? And one of the things right now, big shout out to South America. As a unequivocally number 1, want to see ABBA over everyone else. Now, a lot of the names you expect, well, they're here, right? Lots of people want to see Slayer and Johnny, and this is true through basically almost every country here. North America, Slayer number 1, Johnny number 2. South America, Slayer number 2, Johnny number 3. Europe, Slayer number 1, Johnny number 2. And in Korea, we have Johnny number 3, Slayer number 4. Although, yet again, Japan kind of bucking the trend a little bit here, as Slayer and Johnny are on the list, but they're nowhere near the top 3. And in fact, number 1 is Bridget, and number 2 is Elfelt, and number 3, well, it's Asuka. I've always thought Asuka would be cool, but he might be in like that kind of Aerials kind of thing, in that I'm a story important character, but I'll never actually get to be playable. But who knows, we still got like years of DLC to figure that out. Bridget, honestly, I think mechanically would make an amazing addition to Strive. You would have to change the yo-yo just a little bit, I think, but the core coolness of how Bridget plays, I think he would be fantastic in Strive, honestly. I would rather play Bridget than Johnny. You can tear me apart in the comments for that, I guess, but that's my opinion. But overall, it's about, other than the Japan kind of anomaly, roughly the same worldwide with a couple of numbers changing. The one thing, though, I do like seeing here is guest character. Pretty much every region wants to see a guest character of some form. Who could it possibly be? Who knows, right? Like, who would be the guest character? You could slap just about anyone in there, but I feel like a guest character, regardless of who it is, would be very fun. Just the arc system way of taking characters and making them work, apply it to just about any guest character, and I'm sure you'd have a very valid and fun character in the game. Now, that's not all, though. We actually have more info and infographics, like this one right here. So, have you played a Guilty Gear game before Guilty Gear Strive? And, well, I think the people you're asking automatically skews it, but it says the overwhelming majority has played Guilty Gear before. But reality, I think, is the kind of person who would even know about this poll to enter it is already so much more tapped in than the average person. Because I do know for a fact, given the channel and all that, Strive is a lot of people's first ever fighting game, period, let alone their first Guilty Gear, right? So I feel this poll stuff skews more to the hardcore, and thus you get your answer here. Another thing that was asked here, basically, what do you want to see next? You know, what would you like to see in future updates for the game? And number one, by a mile here, additional special moves. And if you saw the previous video, that might be something they're working on. 2, improvements to online matchmaking. It's decent, but it can always be better. 3, instant kills. 4, changes to UI and lobby. 5, more battle mechanics. And 6, more story content. Like, I want more story content too. Like, I know we got some not too long ago, but it's like not even an hour long. Like, I don't know. I could always go for more, but yeah, special moves is the big one. Initial special move, it adds so much life to a character, even if it's one singular move. And I hope that does happen at some point in the future, perhaps this winter with the big balance patch that's coming. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And there you have it. So nice to see the fruits, I suppose you could say, of those polls and questionnaires. Not really surprising on some of them. Like, hey, people really, really like Viking, right? And on the DLC front, people really want Slayer and Johnny. For my money, I hope they get a bit more adventurous with the DLC. Like, as we already know, Sin's basically a given, right? So we only get 4 slots for this season of DLC, so Sin's going to be one of them. But I hope they're not, even though popularity says a lot, right? You shouldn't necessarily be bound by it. So I hope they are more adventurous in their choices for a lot of the characters coming up. But anyways, my friends, that's all the news for now, and there's plenty more news coming up in the future, so stay tuned to the channel. There's a lot more happening at EVO 2022, but till then, we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Guilty Gear.